Did you see that the internet is on fire after the new Basketball Wives season trailer dropped? Fans are demanding that the OG cast return for a reunion season, eager to see Evelyn, Shawnee, Tammy, and Jennifer face off with the new cast. The drama is already brewing before the season even airs. But why are fans so invested? What's happening behind the scenes that has everyone talking? And could we actually see a legendary cast comeback? Stay tuned, because we're diving deep into fan reactions, the behind-the-scenes tea, and whether this reunion season could actually happen. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Let's be real. Basketball Wives has always been about drama, alliances, and unexpected betrayals. But this time, the fans are the ones stirring the pot. Ever since the new season trailer dropped, social media has been on fire, with longtime viewers calling for the return of the OGs. They say the new lineup just doesn't hit the same, and if there's anyone who could bring the heat, it's the original Queens of Chaos: Evelyn Lozada, Shawnee O'Neal, Tammy Roman, and Jennifer Williams. Here's where it gets interesting. Fans aren't just reminiscing about the old days. They want a full-on reunion season, with the OGs coming back to set the record straight, call out the fakeness, and put the new ladies in check. The way the audience is reacting, it's making this demand louder than ever. So what's really going on? Why are fans dragging the new season before it even airs? Could we actually see an OG reunion? And most importantly, would Evelyn, Shawnee, Tammy, and Jennifer even agree to return? Let's break it all down. The moment the Basketball Wives trailer dropped, social media exploded, but not in the way producers probably hoped. Instead of excitement, fans flooded the comment sections with complaints, side eyes, and straight-up disappointment. The consensus? The new season is missing something major, and for many die-hard fans, that something is the energy and authenticity the OGs brought to the show. Over the years, Basketball Wives has gone through major cast shakeups, losing some of the most iconic personalities like Tammy Roman, who never backed down from a fight, and Evelyn Lozada, whose fiery attitude always made things interesting. Explosive moments have always kept Basketball Wives fans glued to their screens, but many of the iconic cast members who brought that drama have either left or taken a backseat. While the show has attempted to reinvent itself with newer faces, longtime viewers feel like it's lost the raw, unfiltered drama that made it a must-watch in the first place. Twitter, Instagram, and even TikTok have been flooded with posts like, "This new season looks so dry. We need the OGs back to show these girls how it's done. Basketball Wives just ain't the same without Evelyn throwing a bottle or Tammy snatching wigs. Where's the real drama?" Let's be real. This trailer did not get me hyped. Can we just do a reunion season and bring back the real MVPs? It's not just casual viewers who feel this way. Even reality TV bloggers and YouTube commentators have chimed in, saying the new cast lacks chemistry and the franchise is struggling to stay relevant. One popular entertainment blogger even tweeted, "It's giving Basketball Wives the gentrified edition. Bring back the OGs, or just let the show go." But here's the real question. Why are fans so invested in seeing these original ladies come back? What is it about Evelyn, Shawnee, Tammy, and Jennifer that makes them so irreplaceable? Let's break that down, because their history on the show speaks for itself. And let's just say, if they did return, things would get messy, real fast. The moment the Basketball Wives' new season trailer dropped, fans didn't just react, they erupted. Twitter, Instagram, and even TikTok have been flooded with comments from diehard viewers, and let's just say they are not impressed. Many are saying the cast feels forced, the drama looks repetitive, and most importantly, the energy just isn't the same without the OGs. One user tweeted, "I need Evelyn, Tammy, and Jennifer back because these new girls are giving very much. Let's fake drama for TV, and I'm over it." Another fan didn't hold back, writing, "Shawnee and Evelyn carried this show for years. The new cast is giving diet soda, no fizz, no flavor, just flat." And it's not just about missing familiar faces. Longtime viewers believe the show has lost what made it special in the first place. Back in the day, Basketball Wives wasn't just about catfights and shade. It was about real friendships, deep betrayals, and feuds that felt personal. Fans are claiming that the latest seasons have turned into nothing more than scripted arguments and cast members who are just there to collect a check. But here's where it gets even juicier. Some fans believe the new cast simply can't handle real confrontation. Think about it. When Evelyn threw a bottle at Royce, or when Tammy and Jennifer had their explosive fallouts, the tension was real. It wasn't just for the cameras. You could feel the history between these women. And let's not even start on the feuds between Shawnee and Brandi. That was a moment. Now, with this new season gearing up to premiere, longtime fans are saying they don't even recognize the show anymore. The drama feels staged, the fights seem exaggerated, and the cast members don't have the same legacy as the OGs. It's not just about throwing drinks. It's about having a real history with the group, a storyline that actually matters. So, what are fans demanding? Simple, bring the OGs back. But would that even be possible? And more importantly, would the OGs even want to return after everything that went down between them over the years? Let's get into that, because this is where it gets real interesting. Fans are practically begging for an OG reunion season, but here's the real question. Would Evelyn, Shawnee, Tammy, and Jennifer actually agree to come back? Let's break it down, because trust me, the history between these ladies is deep, and not all of it is friendly. Let's start with Evelyn Lozada. She's been one of the show's most controversial and most talked about figures. From her explosive feuds to her on-screen confrontations, Evelyn made sure the drama never stopped. But after so many seasons of tension, would she be open to coming back? What about Shawnee O'Neal, the show's producer and one of the original cast members? She's had her own fair share of conflict with the ladies, but could the lure of bringing back the old magic be enough for her to return to the spotlight? And then there's Tammy Roman. Known for her unfiltered personality and no-nonsense attitude, Tammy has been one of the show's strongest personalities. But after so many explosive moments and real-life drama, would she be willing to come back and face off with the new cast? Finally, Jennifer Williams. Once one of the calmer voices on the show, her tension with the other ladies has often put her in the center of some intense moments. Would she return to help bring back the spark that fans are begging for? The truth is, if the OGs did return, it wouldn't be for a dull moment. With so much history and unresolved issues between these women, a reunion season would undoubtedly ignite some explosive drama that fans are craving. But will the stars align for this legendary comeback? Only time will tell. One thing's for sure, the fans are more than ready. Tammy Roman is one of the most unpredictable and straight-up realist cast members Basketball Wives has ever seen. When Tammy joined the show in Season 2, she didn't just join, she shook the entire franchise. Who could forget her first explosive fight with Evelyn when she found out Evelyn had dated her ex-husband, Kenny Anderson? That argument was so raw, personal, and real that it became one of the most memorable moments in reality TV history. But here's the thing, Tammy has never been one to fake it for the cameras. Over the years, she started stepping away from the messiness, and by the time she left the show, she was over it. She even called out Shawnee O'Neal, accusing her of being biased towards certain cast members, Evelyn. In multiple interviews, Tammy made it clear that she felt the show had lost its authenticity and had become too toxic. So, would she return? Honestly, it would take a lot of convincing. Tammy is thriving in her acting career now, and she doesn't need the show like she did in the past. However, if a reunion season were set up with real conversations, old wounds being addressed, and not just another round of scripted drama, there's a chance she could be interested. Now, let's talk about Evelyn Lozada, the queen of throwing drinks, hopping on tables, and delivering some of the most quotable clapbacks in reality TV history. You're a non-mother *** king factor. Anyone? Evelyn has been the face of Basketball Wives for years, and fans know that when she's in the mix, drama follows. But here's the thing. Evelyn has also claimed she was done with the show after her fallout with OG Chijindu and the lawsuit that followed. Evelyn stepped away, saying she was moving on to a more peaceful life. However, let's be honest, if the right situation came up, do we really think she would turn it down? Evelyn is reality TV gold, and when fans started chanting her name for a reunion season, it wouldn't be shocking if producers slid that contract across the table with a very tempting offer. And then there's Shawnee O'Neal, the woman who created the show and, at one point, controlled the entire narrative. Unlike the others, Shawnee has never been a full-time drama starter. Instead, she's been the puppet master, sitting back and pulling the strings. But here's the thing. Ever since she married Pastor Keon Henderson and moved on to a more faith-based life, would she even consider stepping back into the basketball wives world? Honestly, it's unlikely. Shawnee has shifted into a completely different phase of life, so returning to the show would be a major shift for her. Shawnee O'Neal has shifted to a lifestyle that no longer includes table flipping and drink throwing. She's moved on to a quieter, more faith-based life. But if an OG reunion did happen, she might make an appearance, just for old time's sake. She wouldn't return as a main cast member, but more as a behind-the-scenes power player, pulling the strings once again. Then we have Jennifer Williams, the original cast member who has had a roller coaster relationship with Evelyn over the years. These two have gone from best friends to enemies, back to being somewhat cordial. But let's be real, every time they try to fix their relationship, something always goes wrong. Jennifer has never been as loud or aggressive as some of the other ladies, but what she brings is petty shade and sneaky comebacks. Jennifer might actually be the most likely to return if the offer were right. Unlike Tammy and Shawnee, she's still very much in the reality TV space, and she might see this as a chance to finally get the respect she feels she never received from the OGs. But the real question is, if she did return, would it reignite the never-ending beef between her and Evelyn? So, with all of that said, an OG reunion could happen, but only if the conditions were right. These ladies aren't desperate for a check anymore, so it wouldn't be about the money. It would have to be about legacy. But here's where things get interesting. Would a reunion season be a win for the OGs? Or could it backfire on them? Because let's be real, some of them left on bad terms, and bringing them back together could be a recipe for disaster. And that's exactly what we're getting into next, because this is where it gets messy. Alright, so we've established that fans want the OGs back. We've also talked about whether they'd even consider it. But here's the next big question. Would a reunion season actually work, or could it completely backfire on the very women fans are rooting for? Let's be real, bringing these ladies back together is not just about reliving old memories. It's about reopening wounds that never fully healed. Let's start with the biggest elephant in the room, Tammy versus Evelyn. These two never truly buried the hatchet, and their tension is legendary. From Evelyn sleeping with Tammy's ex-husband to their unforgettable fight where Tammy told Evelyn, "You were a bum when I met you." These two have always had bad blood. Even when they tried to be cordial in later seasons, there was always an edge to their interactions, like they were one wrong word away from setting it off. And here's the thing. If a reunion happened, that tension wouldn't just disappear. In fact, it might be worse than ever. Tammy has publicly stated that she no longer has the patience for reality TV nonsense, and if she returned, she wouldn't be the same woman she was in season 2. She wouldn't be the one yelling or throwing hands. She'd be the one calling out the fakeness and exposing people's real motives. That's a whole different kind of threat to Evelyn, whose reality TV persona has always thrived on being the loudest, the boldest, and the most dominant. If they were to return, it wouldn't be about who can fight the best. It would be about who can expose the most. And that could be a problem. Next, there's the Jennifer situation. Jennifer and Evelyn have had one of the most complicated friendships in Basketball Wives history. They started as best friends, became enemies, and then had a rocky, on-again, off-again reconciliation. But let's not forget, when Jennifer returned in later seasons, she was accused of spreading some of the messiest rumors about Evelyn's personal life. At one point, Jennifer allegedly told people that Evelyn had slept with Shawnee's ex-husband, and that was the final straw in their friendship. It was one of the biggest betrayals in the show's history. Even though Evelyn and Jennifer later tried to mend things, the trust was completely broken. Now, imagine bringing them back together in a reunion season. Do you think Evelyn is just going to let that slide? The moment they get in the same room, you know the old accusations are going to resurface, and Jennifer will have to defend herself all over again. And knowing Evelyn, she's not going to let it go without a fight, whether it's verbal or physical. Lastly, let's not forget about Shawnee's role in all of this. Shawnee has been the show's producer, the puppet master, the one who controls the narrative. She's played a behind-the-scenes role for years, making the hard decisions that shaped Basketball Wives. But would Shawnee, who has evolved into a more peaceful, faith-based life, really want to step back into this mess? It's unclear if she'd be willing to step back into the role of instigator or if she would even be willing to face the consequences of stirring the pot with the OGs. If Shawnee did return, she would likely face a lot of tension, especially given her complex history with some of the cast members. Could a reunion season work? It's possible, but it could also backfire in a major way. With so many unresolved issues, bringing these women back together could lead to explosive confrontations that would make the drama even more intense than before. While fans are begging for the return of the OGs, there's no telling if the reunion would revive the magic, or if it would destroy the legacy these women built. Whatever happens, it's sure to be messy, and that's exactly why fans are so invested. Shawnee has always played in the background, pretending to be the neutral executive producer, while secretly stirring the pot. But many fans haven't forgotten that she often played favorites, and her biggest favorite was always Evelyn. That favoritism caused major problems, especially with Tammy and Brandi. Remember when Brandi called Shawnee out for being biased, and Shawnee hit her with the now iconic, "Thank you for your services"? That moment was brutal, and it proved that Shawnee wasn't just sitting back. She was actively deciding who got to stay and who didn't. This is exactly why a reunion could go very wrong if Shawnee came back and tried to take charge again.
You know Tammy would have something to say.
Tammy has never been afraid to check Shawnee when she felt she was being unfair. Now that Tammy has built her own career outside of the show, she wouldn't need to play nice. In fact, she might just expose some of the behind-the-scenes secrets that fans have always suspected but never had confirmed. And that's where things get dangerous for a reunion season, because here's the truth. This wouldn't just be about Basketball Wives anymore. This would be about the cast finally speaking on things that were never meant to be said out loud. If asterisk, and that's a big if asterisk, a reunion season actually happened, how would it work? Would it be the OGs versus the new cast? Would it be a sit-down therapy-style season where they hash out old drama? Or would it be a complete reset, where the OGs come back as the main cast and the new girls are pushed to the side? Let's break down the most likely scenarios. Scenario 1. The OGs versus. The new girls in this version, the original ladies, return, but instead of just reuniting with each other, they go head-to-head with the newer cast members. This could be a ratings goldmine because it would allow the OGs to check the newbies and prove that reality TV isn't just about screaming. It's about real drama, real history, and real relationships. But this could also backfire. If the new girls don't bring enough energy, it might make the OGs look like they're just bullying them. Let's be honest. Tammy, Evelyn, and Shawnee are strong personalities, and not everyone can handle them. Scenario 2. A therapy-style reunion now. This would be very different from a typical Basketball Wives season. Imagine if the OGs were brought back not to fight, but to actually talk through their past issues in a controlled setting. It could be set up like a Red Table Talk-style series where they sit down, air out their grievances, and have real conversations about the years of drama they've been through. This could be interesting because, for once, the focus wouldn't be on the fights, it would be on the truth. But let's be real. Would fans actually want to watch that? Part of what made Basketball Wives so popular was the messiness, and if they take away the conflict, would people still tune in? Scenario 3. A complete reboot now. This would be the ultimate power move. Imagine if they brought back only the OGs and let them take over the show again. No new girls, no forced storylines, just the original cast running the game like they used to. This would be massive, and it would give fans exactly what they've been begging for. But here's the catch. Would the OGs be willing to go all in again? Because let's be honest, some of them have moved on from reality TV, and going back to that level of drama might not be something they're willing to do. At the end of the day, an OG reunion season is possible, but it would take the right circumstances, the right money, and the right cast dynamics. Fans are demanding it, but the real question is, would the OGs even want it? For now, we'll have to wait and see. But one thing's for sure, the conversation isn't dying down anytime soon. What do you think? Would an OG reunion be a success, or would it end in disaster? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more Basketball Wives updates.